Hello, this is the Inquisitive Reviewer, and this is Megan.
Hi, guys.
Today we are going to be talking about HBO Max's unique series, Velma.
Unique is an understatement.
We didn't see the second episode yet. We watched the first episode. Megan, what do you think of the first episode?
I think it's maybe one of the worst remakes I've ever seen, or continuing series. Not a remake, but you know what I mean. Awful. Just completely awful.
What is the first episode about? Velma and Daphne find the dead body of a teenage girl that had her brain removed. You saw it in the trailer. I figured that was going to happen in episode 1. I didn't think it was going to be so close to the beginning of episode 1. Velma is one of the main suspects. She's trying to find the real killer in order to prove her innocence. That's a quick description of episode 1. Of course, you also see the other characters, or these new versions, or whatever of the characters.
Need much to be desired.
Now, in the, I believe it was the second scene of the show, the locker room, that's the second scene of the show, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right off the bat, you see the two insects mating, and that was like a sign, yeah, this show is going to be as bad. Now, I think it's going to be worse than I thought it was.
Worse than I thought.
And unfortunately, that really wasn't the worst thing in this scene.
It was far from the worst. You can elaborate.
Okay, I'll elaborate. Now, it's the second scene in the show, but it's really like the first important scene in the show.
Right.
You see any of the characters talking, and it's a shower scene that shows, so of course the characters are naked, but it has to actually show them naked.
Which you shouldn't do in a Scooby-Doo spin-off, regardless. I mean, who wants to see Daphne's butt?
Yeah, the first real scene in the series, and you see Daphne's butt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see Daphne's
butt. With all these other girls too.
Yeah.
With a little bit of soap suds just censoring them.
And their actual, the way they're made, they're ugly.
Yeah, it's a bad art style.
Terrible, and there's nothing good about it.
What they're talking about is, they're saying how in a lot of the first episodes of new series, you see a lot of sex in it.
Right.
So I guess that was supposed to be a joke. It was supposed to be funny. It wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny. There was nothing funny about it.
They get in an argument, and Daphne gets like in a fist fight with someone as she has a bit like beating their head on the ground.
Yeah.
Then Velma comes in disguise with, what does she have, like a golf club or something?
She almost looked like a death thing.
She
or
was
something.
She was dressed like a Grim Reaper. She hits Daphne with something, sails her across the room, knocks her into the locker.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and when Daphne was beating up the one girl, she was smiling like she was enjoying it.
Because she looked like a psychopath. I think she is a psychopath.
And I was like, this show's worse than I thought it was going to be.
It's terrible. It's terrible. They're nothing like the characters that people knew.
Then after the shower scene, Velma and Daphne are outside. They're still arguing. And then we get to see this blonde guy that's supposed to be Fred. And Velma goes away. Fred and Daphne start kissing, and Daphne starts grabbing his butt.
Yeah, the butt of this thing that's supposed to be Fred that looks like a modern Ken doll.
And she unzips his pants.
And he looked scared.
Well,
they shouldn't be doing that in this movie at all.
We heard like a zipper sound, then they break up, and then he zips up his pants.
Yeah, but I mean, this is still...
But it's based off of Fred and Daphne.
They can act like it's for a mature audience. It's a different movie. It's not. It's still based on Scooby-Doo without the Scooby. But they're still going to rely on those fans. And it's not right.
That's what the one question is. Who is this aimed for? It's too violent and sexual to be aimed at children. It's too ridiculous to be aimed at adults.
But the thing is...
It's still children's IP.
No matter who they aim it at, if they aim it at adults, it's not going to... No. It shouldn't be.
But I mean, they say it's mature, but it's not mature in a good way for adults. It's like written by teenagers that thinks all this cursing and sex and stuff is mature.
Exactly. It's terrible.
It's like all this violence and sex, and they think that's what's making it mature. It's just...
It's awful. And then you mentioned there was a rumor that it was picked up for more, another season or something?
A couple things mentioned that, but they're all mentioned the same source, that it was reportedly renewed for season 2. But they still said that the thing that mentioned it can't be completely trusted.
It's not a proven thing.
Yeah.
But just the thought that it could be.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
The reviews on it is very low.
Yeah. But,
it's still very low. It's like...
It's probably normal people that are reviewing it. That's probably why.
I think it's like The highest, I guess, is like a 3 out of 5. That's the high. That was exceptionally high.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's like normally like a 1 or 2 out of 10.
Can they go negative?
No.
Oh.
Okay. Later on in the show, we see Velma's home. You see her father and his
live-in
girlfriend,
love interest. In the nude. In the nude.
and she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And you see like the baby through her stomach.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And this was another scene again. I was like, this show's worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times that is so far.
I'm not a prude, but this is sick
ridiculous.
stuff. It's stupid, it's sick, and it's still based on Scooby-Doo.
And then you had the part later on when Velma's at the place where they were talking about the girl that was killed.
Right.
And someone said somehow she was the only slut that didn't deserve to be murdered.
Yeah, I know.
And later on, we get to see Norville, who's based on Shaggy, with his VMs. I don't know what to say about his voice messages with VMs.
Yeah, and
he's not Shaggy.
He's not Shaggy. I mean, he's not white, and he's not Shaggy. So what is he?
And he, out of the 4 main characters you saw, he seems like the better one.
He probably is.
He's just like, he's like all over the place the way he speaks. But he's, out of him, Velma, Fred, and Daphne,
he seems like normalist.
He's like the only one that seems decent. Daphne is completely unlikable.
Very unlikable.
Fred's completely unlikable. Velma's not as bad as Daphne or Fred, but she's not really a dislikable protagonist either.
No, I don't know.
Norville's the best one out of the 4 of them.
And the thing is with Norville, they could have had, if they didn't want him white, they wanted him black, a good character. He could have been a good character. But give him another name.
Yeah.
Don't make him impersonate Shaggy. Make him be a new friend they have.
Yeah.
It would have been fine.
Yeah, overall, he's the best one out of the 4.
Yeah.
Well, Daphne, I already said what's wrong with her. Fred and Velma, we didn't get to them yet.
No.
We learn how, supposedly, Velma came to love solving mysteries. The first mystery she solved was that her mother smokes.
Right.
Then after that, the mother kept setting up these other mysteries for her to solve. And then the one mystery she solved was she was spoiling her Christmas because she found out where the presents were hidden.
I remember that.
And then the mother went out to get her a new present. Then something happened to the mother while she was getting her the present, and that messed up Velma, and that's why she starts getting these ridiculous hallucinations when she's trying to solve a mystery.
Right.
But then we learn that what happened to the mother is she left Velma and her husband.
Right.
Yeah, because she left the husband because he was two-timing on her, I guess, with that
waitress owner.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Velma couldn't understand why the mother would leave because she got along good with the mother. Then she thinks back that she didn't really have this great time with her, and then you see the same flashbacks again, but how things really were. When she put out the cigarette with the hose, she ended up putting her eye out.
Yeah, ain't that crazy?
So you see other flashbacks, she has this glass eye or something, she takes off the glasses and the glass eye falls out.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And then the glasses, they're the glasses that Velma wears now. They used to belong to the mother. So Velma doesn't need glasses. She used to need glasses.
As I was watching it, I was saying to myself, what am I watching? It's like I'm standing there staring at it.
There you go. You have to go to yourself again. This is worse than I thought it was going to be.
I mean, it's like I'm trying to comprehend the stupidity.
I think that's how you can summarize this show. It's worse than I thought it was going to be.
That's it.
Now, Fred, this version of Fred is just... He acts nothing like Fred.
No.
Nothing like Fred. He's not Fred.
No, I don't know who he is.
But... He's not Fred.
No, he's not.
We know that. What I've seen about the second episode, he gets even worse.
Probably so.
At first, he doesn't want to bother with Velma. Then later on, he's trying to bother with her. That's when she decides not to be like the detective. She tries to dress differently. And of course, since this is 2023, we know how she's going to dress differently.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other students are saying she's just acting differently so they don't think she's the murderer. Then they all start throwing stuff at her. There's one guy throw something at her. Fred catches it, he throws it back, it hits the locker, bounces off, cuts this other guy's leg off.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that really sick.
And that was around the same time that Velma thought she was done with her hallucination because she realized it wasn't her solving the mystery of where her presents were that made the mother go out to buy a new present that caused the mother to disappear was because the mother just left them.
Right.
And the hallucinations, how would you describe the hallucinations?
Once again, sick like the rest of the show.
And at one point she thinks his hand is like grabbing her arm, and the hand goes inside her arm, then like it inches its way up her arm and starts strangling her.
Oh.
And then the waitress woman trying to get her to snap out of it. She gets saying get it down. Velma starts coughing. You see all these little green droplets start flying.
Oh, it's just disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
I said I watched the first episode. The last couple minutes I didn't see. I'm going to see them before I hit the second episode. I know earlier, as I mentioned earlier in the other video, the article talking about Fred's teeny little privates.
Yeah, right?
People online were saying Fred had everything done for him so much that he never hit puberty.
I believe it.
There's something in the show that when Fred goes to the bathroom, he makes sure nobody else is in the bathroom. One part, Velma was in Fred's mansion. You saw Fred come out of the shower. He had like a towel over him. He was showing her something. You saw he had no hair on the leg.
Oh.
That this was around the part I didn't see the last couple minutes. I don't know if it's mentioned in the next episode or the last couple minutes of this episode, but considering the way the show is, I don't know if the people in the comments were making the joke saying he never hit puberty, or in the show they have him that he never hit puberty.
Oh, good grief. I wouldn't be surprised about anything they do.
You know he doesn't want to have sex with Daphne. Why you need to have Fred having sex with Daphne in the first place?
They shouldn't be mentioning it. They shouldn't be mentioning it.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that's how they have him in the show, and that's why he has no hair on his leg. Like he didn't hit puberty, so he's not growing body hair.
In the original version, in the original Scooby-Doo.
The real Scooby-Doo.
The real Scooby-Doo. They were all likable characters.
Yeah.
And this one, the only one that I think can be likable at all.
Norval.
Yeah, Shaggy, who's not even Shaggy. I don't know who he is, but he's the only one that's anything, any substance.
None of them you could look at and say like they're the real character.
They're nothing.
No, you can't say they're a cat. You can't look at this Daphne and say it's Daphne. But Norval, the least you could say, oh, like he's a different character. Yeah, well, he doesn't seem like a bad character, like a bad person.
No, Daphne to me looks like a witch. A witch.
Daphne is the worst one so far.
Yeah.
For what I've heard, though, Fred is like the one that they butchered the most. I think that mainly comes in the second episode.
Oh boy.
And Daphne in this version, they decided to make East Asian. And that was like a negative stereotype of the East Asian women in show, is that they're either violent or like sexually aggressive. And they make this East Asian Daphne both. Norval, there was like this joke that Shaggy was like a stoner.
No.
That was like a joke with the fans because Shaggy was like based off like a beatnik or like a hippie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they said like he wasn't, but he's supposed to be like a hippie or like a beatnik, and in that culture.
Yeah.
Now this Norval, he's like very strong anti-drugs. So some of the fans seem to making a joke about that. But I mean, Norval, the character himself, that's not bad.
Right? No, it's not.
He's the only one that seemed decent.
Okay, yeah.
But he's doing this article on the drugs hurting the students, and the other article I read saying about Daphne being a drug dealer.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be coming later. He's going to be tracking this drug dealer in the school, and it's going to come out to be Daphne.
It might be. I could.
I mean, it said Daphne is in that article I read about
the show.
the show.
Whoever heard of Daphne being a drug dealer?
Yeah, so far to me, said she's the one that they butchered the most. I think it's going to be a contest between Fred and Daphne, which character they butchered the most.
The shows today, they just take anything decent, any decent character, storyline, and they're trying to destroy all of them one by one.
They have their own ideas for a show, but it's going to be so horrible that they picked this already existing IP trying to sell it.
And trying to ruin it, probably.
And I guess that's about it for this video.
Yeah, that's it.
See you next one on episode 2.
Yeah, this should be great.